Have you ever dealt with procrastination? I have. And in today's video, I want to talk about the two main reasons for procrastination. And they may not be what most people think.
That me though. That me though. I ain't got no problem with what you do. I'ma do me though. Yeah. I like chains on top of my chains for real, but that's me though.
Hello, everyone. My name is Timothy Flemming Jr. I'm a coach and a writer. And today I want to talk about procrastination. Procrastination. All of us know what procrastination is. It's when we tell ourselves that I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. We have a list of things that we want to do or need to do, but we just keep putting it off. For whatever reason, we never get around to doing the things that we tell ourselves that we need to do, the things that we know we should do. And procrastination can show up in every area of our lives, might I add, not just in business, not just when it comes to our career, not just when it comes to writing that paper for school or finishing up your homework or whatever the case. Procrastination can actually be a major factor even when it comes to our relationships. Things that we know we should do. In other words, it would have been nice to order that bouquet of roses or nice to communicate with your spouse what you were feeling. But yet, instead of communicating or instead of engaging in that nice gesture that would have opened up the floodgates of intimacy, we end up procrastinating and putting things off. We end up bottling up our words and sentiments and just holding things inside rather than communicating what we're thinking and what we're feeling. Procrastination just shows up in everything. It shows up in everything, and it robs us blind of many opportunities, many doors that we could walk through. Many times, even as Christians, we find ourselves procrastinating and then blaming God and saying, well, you know what, God, why didn't you do this or do that or open this door or open that door? And he did open it, but he couldn't literally push you through it. You had to get up and walk through the door on your own. You know, there are things that God does, he does for us, and then there are things he doesn't do for us. And one thing he does not do is force you to move or force you to walk through a door or walk right into an opportunity that he may present to you. That's something that you have to do. And if there's one thing that can destroy your life, it's procrastination. It's the ultimate expression of self-sabotage. It's the one thing that we do that to sabotage ourselves, to prevent ourselves from being able to experience all of the dreams and the things that we have in our hearts. And you know, there's a Bible verse that always comes to mind when I think about this from the book of Proverbs. Solomon told us, a hope deferred makes the heart sick. A hope deferred makes the heart sick. In other words, when it talks about having a sick heart, it's talking about being so discouraged and despondent until you just literally give up. You give up on your hopes and dreams. You stop dreaming. You stop hoping. And the word hope means to have a strong anticipation of good things to come. You stop anticipating that good things are going to happen. And there's some people that find themselves in that boat. And the real source of it is procrastination. We oftentimes think it's other things, but really, we're working against ourselves. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about how to break the habit of procrastination. But first, we have to identify what causes procrastination. Where does this habit come from? Why do we develop this habit in our lives? So procrastination, again, is one of those deadly things, one of those expressions of self-sabotage. where we oftentimes blame or look for a scapegoat in everyone and everything else. Well, you know what, this person or that person, or, if only situation was better, if only I had more money, if only more people believed in me. We love to tell ourselves these things, and it helps us to justify where we are. If only I had more people supporting me, if only I had more people on my side. And the reality is this: if you're waiting on those things to align and to add up or to come into manifestation in your life, you'll be pretty much waiting your entire life to do anything, because I can almost guarantee you, that 9 times out of 10, people will not get behind you and just express their profound support, love, and respect for everything that you're doing. You're going to have to encourage your own self. You're going to have to develop some type of motivation from within that drives and propels you. And most times people are drawn to that force that is driving you. And they're like, wow, I admire that you're able to propel yourself and move forward without waiting on me or without even needing me or anyone else. That's something that many people find just admirable. They admire that you're able to get up and move forward with or without them. And it's inspiring, because the funny thing is this: the people that you're looking to for support, they are also in the same boat as you. They are hoping someone will come along and push them into their dreams. So you want someone to push you when they are looking for someone to push them, and everybody's sitting around waiting for somebody to come and push them. The pushers are waiting for someone to push them. And everybody's just sitting around. And the reality is, you can't wait for other people. You have to get up and you have to do things yourself. You have to drive and have something that drives and motivates you from within. And that's the reason why it's so dangerous, again, when we talk about procrastination, that we understand it in the proper light. That it's not really all of the external factors and things that we think of as hindering us and preventing us from being able to accomplish our goals and dreams and step out and do the things that we know we should be doing, and things that we could be doing. We use that as the scapegoat, but really it's our own self-sabotaging behavior that is working against us. And there are a couple of things that I want you to understand. There's some things that you need to stop telling yourself if you're going to get to the root of procrastination and really deal with it. Number one, you need to stop telling yourself, I'm lazy, because laziness is not the cause of procrastination. It's not the cause of procrastination, laziness. Laziness is definitely not the cause. There are some people that are like, well, you know what? I just don't feel the energy to get up, or I just, I have kids and I've, been, growing up myself. I can tell you, there are certain things that we may not devote energy to, but we still have a ton of energy and we are devoted to other things. In other words, you may find a young person that'll spend 10 hours playing a video game, and they are working hard. I mean, their brain is working overtime. They are solving complex problems, trying to beat the final boss, trying to get to the final level. I mean, they are applying energy. It's just that energy is being applied to something that's not going to reward them, especially in the long run. So it's not that a person lacks the ability to do anything. No, it's just most times people are redirecting their focus, their energy, and their attention into things that are not benefiting them, so while avoiding the things they should be doing, the things that can and will benefit them. And that's oftentimes the biggest problem that most of us face, is that we have energy for the things that don't benefit us. But when it comes to the things we need to do, suddenly all of the energy just drains out of our left pinky toe, and we just find ourselves lethargic and just, and that's when procrastination comes into play. So procrastination is not laziness, but there are two things that causes procrastination. The first thing is, believe it or not, trauma. A lot of people think that procrastination, like I said, is based off of laziness, when actually procrastination is based off of trauma. It is a response to trauma that we experience or have experienced in our lives. Let me explain it this way. From a scientific standpoint, researchers have discovered that the brain's number one goal is to protect us from danger and from pain. That's the brain's number one goal, to protect us from danger and protect us from pain. And what that looks like is this, that our brains will oftentimes divert us or redirect us away from anything that could potentially harm us. So if, for example, you try to engage in an activity before, let's just say you're a young man and you try to talk to a young lady, and you went up to her and she rebuffed you, she rejected you. The sting of that rejection cuts you real deep to your core, just cuts you right in your soul. Well, the brain will oftentimes say, well, you know what? We've developed formed an association that whenever we try to talk to girls, girls, they reject us. And that rejection, it hurts. It hurts a lot. So therefore, what we're going to do is just avoid trying to talk to girls. And so what ends up happening is a person may have energy for all of these other things, but when he sees a young lady, all of a sudden hesitation kicks in. Fear kicks in. All of a sudden his heart starts beating faster, and procrastination is now setting in. And he's saying to himself, well, yeah, I should go up and say something, but no. Next time I see her, I'll say something. Next time comes around and he's like, and then he backs off and say, well, I'll try maybe tomorrow when I see her, I'll say something. The next day comes around and it's like, well, here she is literally standing right across from me, right in front of me. But and he want to say something, but and what's happening is the brain is protecting him. The brain is saying, nope. We're not going to say anything to her, because you remember what happened the last time you went up and talked to a girl and she looked at you funny, rolled her eyes, and just started ridiculing you and shattered your little ego. Well, guess what? I'm not going to ever let that happen to you again. I'm going to protect you from that kind of pain. So therefore, whenever you feel like going in that direction, I'm going to redirect you and just cause you to stay in the safe zone, so that you never feel that kind of pain again. And so oftentimes with procrastination, it's our own brains. I like to say our brains working against us, but the brain actually feels like it's working for us to protect us from painful situations. And so a painful situation for you may be embarrassment. Well, I'm not going to get up and sing. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to try this or try that. And so we end up putting off a lot of things or avoiding a lot of things simply because we don't want to get hurt. And all our brains can do is reflect back to a prior experience where we tried something similar to what we're thinking about doing, and how that failed, how it didn't work out, how we got embarrassed, how we made a mistake and everyone laughed at us, how we got ridiculed, the pain of rejection, that painful, traumatic experience. And the brain is telling us, don't do it. We're not going to do that, because we don't want to relive that pain, relive that trauma. So the brain is trying to protect us from trauma. And that's the reason for procrastination. Procrastination is not laziness. It is a trauma response. It is us backing away from situations our brains determined to be harmful to us. And it may seem trivial or trite to some people, procrastination when it comes to doing a paper. Well, guess what? If you've been rebuffed, or if you failed or flunked the class, or you wrote a paper and it got an F, and you found yourself experiencing again a sense of rejection or whatever, well, guess what? There's a great deal of procrastination that will come in, even when it comes time to write that paper, and you just I just keep putting it off. I keep putting it off. I know I need to start, but I just keep putting it off. Somewhere lodged in your subconscious, in your unconscious mind, there's a trauma, there's a fear, there's some pain that is related to the task at hand, and the brain is trying to protect you from engaging in that activity for fear that you're going to get hurt again. And we have to push past those fears, because that's all that's going on right now, is the brain is trying to protect you, and there's something down on the inside of you that makes you feel like, if I try this again, it's not going to work, and I just can't afford to put myself through that kind of pain. One of the things that I discovered in coaching many clients, I've worked with clients for over 10 years in book publishing, and now in coaching, helping people to develop their own coaching programs and things that I've been doing. I've discovered a lot of people know what to do. They know what to do. They know, all right, I need to get on, YouTube. I need to get on social media. I need to get on TikTok. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to, develop my brand. I mean, people know what to do. A lot of people know what to do. But I discovered that one of the biggest areas of need in most people is not information on what to do, but there's really a great need for motivation. There's a great need for motivation. Most people struggle in the area of just staying motivated, of feeling empowered to do the things that they know they need to do. And that's the biggest need. So I find a lot of my time is spent on just helping power and to remain motivated, even when it comes to helping people write a book, just feeling empowered and motivated, because there's always that thought, that inner critic that pops up and say, well, nobody's going to support you. This is a waste of your time. It's not going to go anywhere. You know what? You need to just cut this out. Who are you to tell anybody what to do or to give advice or something? And there's always that inner critic and that inner voice. And then procrastination sets in, and you find people say, well, I started writing a book, and 10 years ago I was writing a book and I just stopped, and I know I need to finish it. It's been 20 years now, and that is always, it always goes back to the feeling of a lack of motivation. That there's a lack of motivation. There's something on the inside of them that's telling them they're not good enough, they're not worthy. And really, it all chalks up to self-sabotage and procrastination, where they just keep putting off something that they feel like is going to bring a world of pain. Rejection. No one bought the book. No one supported me. No one signed up. Oh my God, rejection. That means I don't ever want to put myself in that position. And so there's this fear, which is why people put off tasks that they should be doing and could be doing, but yet they devote a ton of energy to things that are not actually benefiting them. Starting your own business will benefit you in the long run, even though it may require an upfront investment. But in the long run, if you work it, it will pay off for you. Stepping out, writing that book, becoming that entrepreneur, those things will benefit you, especially in the long run. And engaging in your marketing campaign, doing all of these tasks that most of us tend to put off. Those things will benefit you, especially in the long run. But why don't we do it? Because many of us tell ourselves it's not going to work, or better yet, our brains make us or make us believe it's not going to work. And next thing you know, we bag away from the task that we should be doing to benefit us and focus only on tasks that may benefit others, but doesn't really do anything for us, especially in the long run. So that's the number one cause of procrastination. But there's also another cause of procrastination that I want to cover as well. Hello, everyone. I know you're enjoying the video, but I want to pause right quick and share with you a very exciting announcement. If you are an author, or you are a professional, or you are an expert in any field, any niche, and you want to take your game to the next level, that's right, the next level, then I want you to join me for this free masterclass that's coming up, Passion to Profit Blueprint. How to turn your book or expertise into an impactful and scalable coaching program. That's right, I'm going to teach you how to take that knowledge, how to take your expertise and turn it into a profitable coaching program, how to position yourself as the expert that people are looking for so that you can meet their needs and at the same time experience the financial abundance that awaits you. So go ahead and sign up. The link is in the description of the video below. It's free, but you have to register. So I hope to see you in the classroom. This second cause of procrastination is a lack of clarity. A lack of clarity. When you're not clear on your goals, you're not clear on what you should be doing, you're not clear on the path that you're supposed to take, what your first step and your second step and your third step should be. Where there's a lack of clarity, that will also breed procrastination. There's an old saying that clarity creates energy. Clarity creates energy. That when you're clear about something, you become energized. Actually, taking it back to the Bible, there's a passage of scripture in the book of Habakkuk that tells us, write the vision and make it plain, right? Make it plain means get clear. Write the vision means create an actual map. Draw out what you're going to be doing step by step. You know, a lot of people, they engage in creating vision boards. But more important than a vision board is what I call a vision map or vision mapping. And that's where you show where you're going or what you're trying to accomplish, but you also write out all of the small steps en route to that big goal. And you need to have everything written out into the smallest details. And a lot of times people don't do that, but that's one of the things that is necessary in order for you to reach the big goals. So you need to have an actual step-by-step plan, a clear map that shows you how to get to where you're trying to go. So if I'm trying to get here, then that means I need to go here, then here, then here, then here, then I can finally reach that destination. Everything needs to be clear. There needs to be clarity. And that verse in the Bible says, write your vision. Don't just think it, but write it down. But then it also says something else. And this is so fascinating. It says, write the vision, make it plain. It needs to be so plain, so clear, so easy to understand that a third grader can follow that map. They can execute on the points that are outlined because it's so clear what to do. So write the vision, make it super duper duper clear. Rather than Sitting back, beating yourself up about, well, you know what? I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I should have done that. Oh, if I could rewind the hands of time and go back in the past and redo this or redo that or change this. Oh, if I had have just been born in a different family on the different side of the tracks in a different situation, a different socioeconomic situation. Oh, if I only had more people that understood me and that were there to support me. Well, the truth of the matter, that's all a facade. That's a fantasy. None of that matters. None of that is holding you back. And believe it or not, none of that will propel you and push you forward. That's a fantasy. The reality is this: rather than sitting back, ruminating, and going down memory lane and beating yourself up and saying, oh, woulda, shoulda, coulda, I wish I was someone different, or I wish my situation was different. I wish I had have done things differently. And then begin attacking yourself, because that's a vicious loop and a vicious cycle, one that you need to break and can break. In fact, you can break that immediately. But rather than engaging in that train of thought, this is what you actually need to do, is take the time out and actually just write out a vision. Write out the vision for where you want to go, and then create a vision map to get there. Let that fill in your time. Let that fill in your time. And don't focus. I heard Dr. Myron Golden. I like listening to him. And he's a very motivational success speaker. And he shared something. He said, focus on the inputs, not the outcomes. In other words, quit trying to figure out how things are going to turn out in the end, and just focus on the small little steps, the small inputs. All right, step number one, I'm going to go ahead and start a website. Step number two, I'm going to write my first blog. Step number three, I'm going to do this. Step number four, I'm going to just focus on the little bitty small inputs. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I do this, do that. Focus on the little things and quit trying to figure out how the big picture is going to unfold. So that's the first thing, is actually sit down and focus on writing out a full vision and creating a map for that vision. Put that together, and you'll find that in and of itself, number one, it's going to take up some time. It's going to take up quite a bit of time, but it's also going to energize you. You're going to feel fresh life and energy beginning to rise and surge through you again. And this is a source of self-motivation. It's almost like synergy, energy in motion. All of a sudden it's beginning to develop and begin to exude through your pores. Why? Because you're building something of your own from the inside out as you write down your vision. Not your complaints, not your excuses, not the lies that you tell yourself, but you write out your vision. Therefore, you give your body, you give your mind, you give yourself a directive, a challenge. You give yourself something to work towards. And when there's clarity, that's when energy comes. And that's the reason why the other part of that Bible verse says, write the vision, make it very plain, so that they that read it may do what? Run when they read it. In other words, when the vision is so clear, it energizes people and gives them the ability to run, to chase after it now, to run because they know where they're going. But when you don't know where you're going, if you can't see in front of you, if everything is foggy and misty and everything is just cloudy and you can't really make out anything, everything is ambiguous, well, you're reluctant to run because you don't know where you're going. You may stumble over a cliff. You may run into a tree or a wall. You have no clue what to do, where you're going. Why? Because you can't see ahead. So when a person develops an actual vision, guess what? They gain clarity. When a person gains clarity, they feel a surge of energy. And that energy becomes the self-motivating force that drives you, regardless of who's with or who's not with you. That becomes the thing that drives you. So I want you to get up today and I want you to just actually, do this. Create your own vision. Write your vision. Do what the Bible say. Write that vision. Make it plain. Create a vision map for yourself. And then just begin to go over that vision and watch that energy begin to surge in you and just begin to push you out there and just push you right into the things that you need to do. And with regards to the fears that we have, realize this one thing. You need to tell yourself there's nothing for me to fear. Nothing for me to fear. I'm going to be okay. Brain, we're going to be just fine. I know you perceive this as a threat. You see this as a danger. Your concern is that I'm going to fail. I'm going to get rejected. I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to get humiliated. That these things, you think that they are a reflection of who I am as an individual, that just because someone rejected me, that means I'm a reject because I flunked. I'm a flunky because I failed. I'm a failure. But brain, none of that is true. Because in order for a child to learn how to run, he has to first learn how to walk. In order to learn how to walk, he got to first learn how to crawl. And sometimes in the transition stage of learning how to walk, he's going to rise and fall. But eventually, if he keep on getting back up, that child is going to learn how to remain on his own 2 feet. And then after a while, that child ain't going to want anyone to pick them up because they're going to be too comfortable walking on their own 2 feet. So rather than calling yourself a failure, just say, I am learning. I am developing a new skill and I'm learning how to walk in this situation. Oh, that rejection, that's not a reflection of who I am. I'm developing a new skill. I'm learning how to communicate. I'm learning how to share what's on my heart. I'm not going to die if someone says no. I'm not going to drop dead if someone rejects me. I promise you, you're not going to die. In fact, I promise you that you're actually going to grow and get better and develop even more skill and more confidence as you continue to go along. So this is actually going to make you even better than what you currently are. So just get ready to rise and fall. Like someone said, fail your way to the top. So don't be afraid or don't allow fear. Do it while you're afraid and watch how fear begins to subside and confidence begins to develop and build as you do the things that your brain is telling you not to do. So the second you start doing it, all of those fears will start to slowly dissipate and go away. And all of a sudden, confidence will come. If I could leave it with this, I'll tell you the Mel Robbins approach. Say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then start doing it. And give your brain a disruption. Disrupt the pattern of your thinking and push yourself into just doing it because your brain is trying to talk you out of it. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, start doing it and watch how you break that pattern of rumination that your brain is engaged in order to prevent you from taking action. So those are 2 things. Those are the 2 causes of procrastination. And also, I just provided some tips and strategies on how to break past it, how to break through it, how to get past that procrastination. So I hope that helped you out. And if you enjoyed this video, I want you to do one thing for me. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel and help me grow this channel and get more of this information out to more and more people. And I look forward to seeing you in the next live session.